Słuchasz podcastu Angielski z Konradem. Nowe odcinki każdego tygodnia. Jeśli chcesz popracować nad płynnością, nabrać odwagi do konwersacji, skorygować często popełniane błędy bądź poznać skuteczne metody nauki, ta audycja jest dla Ciebie. Remember, you're not at school, so chill out, kick back and enjoy yourself. Let's begin. Witaj w kolejnym odcinku. Zanim zaczniemy, pozwól, że pokrótce przypomnę, jak możesz wykorzystać mój podcast. Jeżeli czujesz się pewnie ze swoim angielskim, wystarczy, że przesłuchasz audycji. Dla tych z Was, którzy potrzebują odrobiny pomocy, pamiętajcie o notatkach do odcinka. Zatrzymuj podcast, przejrzyj notatki, w razie potrzeby powtórz nagranie. Zapisz się do newslettera za pośrednictwem strony angielskiskonradem.pl, by otrzymać natychmiastowy dostęp do notatek z tego i wszystkich poprzednich odcinków. Dostaniesz również powiadomienia o nowych odcinkach. Jeżeli masz pytania, uwagi bądź sugestie, skontaktuj się ze mną za pośrednictwem adresu angielskiskonradem@gmail.com bądź za pośrednictwem fanpage'a Angielski z Konradem na Facebooku. Switching to English. Greetings. I hope you are all well. I'm your humble host Conrad. Welcome to another episode of the podcast. I hope you enjoy the show today. Let's begin with some vocabulary. Trivial. Trivial. Trywialny. Insignificant. Insignificant. Nieistotny. Meaningless. Meaningless. Bez znaczenia. Superficial. Superficial. Drobny. Petty. Petty. Błahy. Most people associate skateboarding, my love and passion, with punk culture. You know, no rules, anarchy, social misfits who refuse to conform. It's very evident with most popular musical choices made by skateboarders. I skate to such bands like Black Flag, Papa Roach, Millencolin to name a few. All hail from America, all of them playing punk. There are, however, some super positive individuals who promote skateboarding as a fun pastime for all the family, purely straight edge, meaning using no alcohol, no drugs, no smoking, none of the vices that destroy your body. Such a man is our point of interest today, namely Steve Caballero. I don't want to go into much detail about Steve's life. He's a pro skateboarder, an artist, a motorcyclist, a guitar player, a Renaissance man, so to speak. When you look at Steve's Instagram profile, you might get easily confused. Does this guy really skate? He doesn't strike you as a skater at first. A typical skater, due to skateboarding being a very physically demanding activity, looks more like a stick figure with clothes on it. Steve, however, well, he's a little bit short, looks a little bit plump, but not much. He's a little bit old. He's 56. Then you watch his videos, and wow, the legends are true. He does not limit himself to skateboarding videos, however. There are some motivational pictures here and there. One of them inspired me to do this episode. Here are 10 things that require no talent, according to Steve Caballero. You will be surprised how many of these relate to learning English, both directly and indirectly. These are, in no particular order, number 1, being on time. This one speaks for itself. You don't have to be skilled in any way, well, apart from knowing how to use a watch, to be punctual. It may seem like a trivial thing, insignificant, not very important. Except it isn't. Being on time means that you treat someone seriously. And really, how hard can it possibly be? It does not only involve meetings, but every event where time is of the essence. Meeting all sorts of deadlines, for example. Fortunately, you can listen to this podcast and always be on time. Thank you for being so punctual. Okay, let's move on to number 2, making an effort. Making an effort. If you make an effort, you invest energy into something so that it turns out as good as possible. An effort is something that is clearly visible, as is the lack of effort. Nevertheless, sparing energy towards something meaningful is never wasted energy. A little effort goes a long way, while a bigger one goes even longer. You are the judge of that. Making an effort is an unavoidable aspect of learning English. The good part is that most of the time you don't even know that you make an effort. For example, you make an effort when you watch a film in English because you translate it in your head. You make a connection between words and actions. It's just one example, but I think it proves my point. Number 3, being high energy. Being in motion is a key to life. You move, you live. Simple as that. As long as we are active physically, we can expect a long and healthy life. Take a walk in your spare time, or even better, go jogging. Work out a little bit at home. Do some crunches, push-ups, or squats. These exercises don't require any equipment and you need very little space to do them. The more energy you spend, the greater your reserves become. You will feel better. You will have a better mood. A good mood makes your brain work like a sponge. You literally soak in information, regardless of the topic. My best pupils are athletes, so that point speaks for itself. It's only hard at the very beginning. As you continue, it gets easier and easier, until it becomes a routine and you don't even feel any strain. Number 4, having a positive attitude. There was a period in my life when I thought that it was cool to hate. I found something wrong in everything and didn't spare any words. In other words, I used to be a huge jerk towards everyone. Then I began teaching at primary school, where I found that such an attitude gets you nowhere. However, the opposite, finding something good in every situation, in every person, makes you happier in turn. Think of yourself as of a relay, how you act towards others. If you are kind, if you are understanding, others will feel inclined to behave the same way, either towards you or another person they meet. Your attitude has a significant influence on how you learn as well. If you are hopeful, if you are determined, you can expect great things to happen. Number 5, being passionate. Having something that you are passionate about, giving you great pleasure, is essential to good living. It's very important to find something that you can do just for yourself, for your own satisfaction, with no money involved. Okay, I'm not saying that you should be passionate about the language, because for me it's silly. A language is a tool. Treat it as something that can move you forward, that enables you to do more things. Let's say you are passionate about tinkering. The best YouTube channels on DIY are, surprise, surprise, in English. Learning the language opens a world of possibilities for you, and not only professional ones. Keep that in mind when learning that these doors may appear closed now, but you hold the key that opens them. Number 6, using good body language. A body language is a language that your body speaks. Duh. You communicate by your posture, gestures, facial expressions, and so on. How you stand, how you sit, the motion of your arms. All these things send an invisible message about you, what kind of person you are. A quick example. Crossed arms may indicate that a person is defensive. They try to defend themselves from something, not necessarily from physical harm, while having your hands resting on your hips is a sign of readiness and having the situation under control. By a good body language, Steve means a positive body language. Avoiding crossing arms or putting your hands in your pockets, maintaining a straight posture, that's something everyone can do. If you demonstrate a positive body language, others will naturally become interested in what you want to say. Some psychologists even say that nonverbal communication makes up a majority of all communication. So it's important that you pay attention to what your body is saying about you. Number 7, being coachable. Being aware that there are loads of people smarter than you is one thing. Having willingness to learn from them is another. During my work with adults, I found that most of them, not all of them, of course, have trouble with following instructions. That's because they're adults and they think they know better. They don't like to be schooled or told that they did something wrong. They are not easily coachable. Great minds surround themselves with people who can teach them something, with people from whom they can learn. Kings, emperors, presidents, other rulers, they all had someone wiser at their side. They all had advisors. A pupil always has a master. Being coachable is another essential part of learning English. You have to be ready to accept direction. You have to be ready to accept criticism. It's all in goodwill. Nobody wants to make fun of you. We're all adults, after all. The 8th thing that requires no talent is doing a little extra. A quick example. Every nice skate shop throws in a couple of stickers into the parcel. They could easily have spared the expense, but they do it anyway. I, in turn, give them away to kids at the skate park. It's a small, unexpected surprise. That, and they would clutter up my drawers otherwise. Doing a little extra shows that you care, that you are passionate about something, and you want to show it to the world. You make a pleasant surprise for somebody. It also gives you an opportunity to apply a personal touch to something you do. When learning English, try not to limit yourself to basic words like good, for example. Do a little extra and look up a dictionary for a more refined, nicer expression. You will find that a little extra goes a long way. Number 9. Being prepared. Going an extra mile to make sure that you are prepared for every contingency can save your skin in more ways than you can imagine. A very simple example. Again, if you plan a longer car trip, make sure that you have your spare tire, that your spare tire has air, that you've got necessary tools to change it, as well as a car jack. A car jack is a tool that allows you to lift the car when switching tires. It allows the car to go up. It's also a good idea to throw a torch, as well as some gloves, into your glove compartment. I learned that the hard way. Suffice to say, I had to sleep in my car till the next day. Car seats are very comfy for sitting, but not very much for sleeping. And the final thing that requires